nested functions in Excel. How do you create them? What do they do? I will use a few examples. An if error with a nested average, if with a nested if, VLOOKUP with a nested month, VLOOKUP with a nested if, concatenate with 3 nested functions, and if with 4 nested functions. Let's try them. The average of the months January, February, March is calculated in E. Sometimes there were no sales in certain months for certain people, so we get a division by 0 error. In other words, I can never calculate the total average, the grand total average. So I have to get rid of those division ones. The most common one is to use the function IFERROR. I will use mostly fx. You can type functions, but sometimes fx gives you much more information. So I'm going to look under all for the function IFERROR. IFERROR has 2 arguments. It says what is the value you are checking and what to do if there is an error there. We are checking E2, and if there is an error, then we say nothing. Not 0, of course, for that would affect the average. So double quotes, that means nothing. Okay. When you do Control Enter, it will put that formula in all the selected cells. And we do not get error messages here, so we can calculate a regular average. The only problem is we did this in 2 steps. We could have done that in 1 step with a nested function. Let's go for the nested function. IFERROR again. Now we have to calculate the average. So we call the average function here. You could type it, but if you don't quite know how to type it, because it's a new function for you, you go to the left top corner, and there should be somewhere average. If not, go to more functions. We want B2 through D2, not E2 of course. Don't click on OK yet, for I'm not done yet. I have to go back to IFERROR. How can I get to IFERROR? By going to the formula bar and click on the word IFERROR. And you are automatically back in the IFERROR function. What if the value is an error? Double quotes, double quotes. Accept the formula, double click it downwards with a double click, and we get the calculation again. So we could delete column E and F. We did everything in 1 step with a nested function. A similar situation on this sheet. We calculate the bonus according to this scale. Under 30 grand salary we give you 3% bonus, over 50 7%, and in between 5%. So we need if with a nested if. Call if. If your salary is less than 30,000, if that is true, we give you 3% of your salary as a bonus. If it's false, I don't know yet whether I give you 5 or 7. I need another if. You know the trick now. You can type it there or go to another if function. If the salary is over 50,000, if that is true, then I give you 7% of your salary. Otherwise, I give you 5% of your salary. Needless to say, if you have a 4th category, then you would need another nested if. I think we are done. If I go back to the first if, you see that it puts a nested if in the 3rd argument. If you work in a company that has a fiscal year that does not start in January but in October, then October is quarter 1, 1, 1, and January is 2, 2, 2. We found here what the quarters are for that kind of company. We need to look up which month are we dealing with. February is month 2, so that is a VLOOKUP function. What are we looking up? Yeah, the date, but the month of the date. So I need to call the month function of the date in C2. That month is 2. What is the formula result for the entire function? We don't know yet because VLOOKUP is not finished yet. Click on VLOOKUP. The table array is that range. Make sure that you lock that so it always is F2 for G13 when I copy that down. In which column is the answer? This is your table, so the answer is in column 2. You have to type a number in there. And we are looking for an exact match. Exact match is 0 or false. So in month 2 we found quarter 2. And these are the fiscal quarter years. A similar situation is here. VLOOKUP finds your salary, and depending on your salary you get a certain percentage of bonus. If you are under 5 years in the company, the second column, otherwise the third column. So we need VLOOKUP, no doubts about it. We are looking up the salary, B2, in the table G2 through I2, lock it, absolute. In which column do you find the answer? Yeah, it depends. Under 5 years, column 2, otherwise 3. So we need an if function in that third argument. If the seniority, in this case 19, is less than 5, then the answer is in column 2, otherwise the answer is in column 3. Notice that if found the answer 3, and VLOOKUP, the entire formula, found 7%. Whether that's correct, I don't know yet. I have to go back to VLOOKUP. For I haven't decided on the range lookup yet. In this case it does that by default, true. It looks up the previous value in an ascending order. Control Enter gives me the percentages. If you want money in there, you multiply all these values with the salary and you will find that result. I could have also done this. 2 different tables. It's basically the same idea. You use VLOOKUP again, of course. But this time the lookup value is clear, of course, but the table array is not clear. It's either the left table or the right table. So I need to do an if function in here. If your seniority is less than 5, then my table is here, absolute. Otherwise my table is there, absolute. I have to go back to VLOOKUP to determine what the column index number is for both tables. It is in column 2, and the range lookup again is true in an ascending order. And we should get exactly the same results here as we got in that column, except for this people between 60 and 70,000. Here we have a different situation. We got a phone number that was not formatted. We would like to format it, so we need a function that is called Concatenate. Concatenate hooks strings together. I want to start my string with a literal open parenthesis. Then I want in text 2 the first 3 characters of the phone number. The function that does that is the left function. It finds from the text the left 3 characters. 183. The total formula is open parenthesis 183. Go back to concatenate. Click in text 2 so you get text 3. Text 3 is a closing parenthesis. Double quotes, close dash, double quotes. And you see here it evaluates to 183. Then I need the mid function in text 5. The mid function will find the middle part of that phone number starting in number 4, 3 characters long, back to concatenate. You see this is what we got so far. I need a new dash, literally. Notice that there is a scroll bar to the right, so I can go to text 6. The final function is the right function of that phone number. 4 characters from the right, and here is the entire number. This is the result of the right function. Control Enter gives me the correct ones. The last one I'm not going to do with you, I will just explain it. I got a real mess of phone numbers, sometimes a dash, sometimes parentheses. The first step is easy, give me the last 4 digits of all of them. Write the previous cell 4 once. Then I would like to find the remainder, everything of this minus those last 4. We do that with the left function of the first column, the length minus 4 of that total thing. Then some have a dash, some don't. How do we get rid of the dash? If there is a dash in the previous cell, then give me the left of the previous cell minus the length minus 1, otherwise give me the whole thing. That gave me that one. Then we take the last with a right function again. Then take the remainder from column D minus the last 3, left the length minus 3. Some have a dash, some don't. Get rid of the dash. If the last character is a dash, give me the whole thing minus the last one, otherwise the whole thing. Some have parentheses. Get rid of the parentheses. If there is a parenthesis at the end, give me the left of the length minus 1, otherwise the total one. And finally, we take from that the right function, so we get the area code. To get a nice formatted one, we do concatenate again, and concatenate does all of this like we did before. If you want to know much more about nested functions, I just gave you simple examples. Here are some tools that might help you. 3 CDs or 2 books. The most general CD is the one to the left. The other 4 tools are especially for scientists. Scientists work a lot with nested functions, especially when they do statistics. So in the 2 books and the last 2 CDs you will find more for your scientific needs. For more general needs, I would just recommend this one. They all 3 CDs have more than 1400 slides, and they guide you for all the issues you could ever dream of. You find them at mrexcel.com or amazon.com. Just type my name, Gerard Verschuren, in the search box and you will find all these tools. I wish you good luck.